Hi there. Yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. That is indeed a football market that you see before you. I've been intrigued with the introduction, well, relatively recently, of the new metric expected goals. You'll see a number of YouTube videos on it these days. But as someone who doesn't trade football, indeed as someone who lost interest in football many years ago, I was interested to see if that could be used to help what is in effect a beginner. So I've got 4 matches lined up, and the plan is to keep an eye on the expected goals for each team and lay the team that is leading, assuming that their odds are below 2, because I want a decent risk-reward ratio, and the expected goals of the opposing team is in the order of 0.75 or more, and then hope that that opposing team equalises, at which point we can obviously trade out. So one of the matches that we're looking at is Crawley, but for some reason it's been suspended for some time, so I don't know if I'll be able to get involved in that at any point. The other one at Airdrieonians, I probably won't get involved in that because there's hardly any money in it. So the other two are the Bolton match and the Paris Saint-Germain match. I'm obviously not going to record a whole match worth of video. I'm just going to be jumping in and out as and when things happen. So try and follow along, see what I'm doing, and we'll see how we get on. Right, we're 20 minutes into the Crawley match. You can see that Crawley are winning 1-0, they're below evens, and the expected goals for MK Dons has risen to above 0.75. So let's pop in a lay at 192. Okay, I'm using a £100 liability as normal. Hopefully that'll get matched shortly, and I'll come back assuming MK Dons equalise. Switching to the game at Airdrie, you can see that Airdrie are up 1-0, but there's no XG information as yet. In actual fact, there's very little money in this market at all. You can see the totals matched there. So you're only looking at 3-4k. So I'll probably just give this match a miss. Okay, Crawley have just got a second goal, so they're 2-0 in the lead, and their odds have plummeted down to below 1.2. And here's where my inexperience as a football trader comes in. What do I do now? Do I trade out for a guaranteed loss, cut my losses to what, £68? Do I go in again? Who knows? The expected goals figures haven't changed throughout the half. They've been hovering around the 0.8 mark in favour of MK Dons. But you can see from the stats, I'm not sure how these stats tie in with that figure, to be perfectly honest. Again, the football traders amongst you might be able to help me out there. Don't know. I can either leave it and see if MK Dons fight back, or if I invest again for another £100 liability, obviously that's doubling my liability, but it should bring my breakout point significantly down. So let's do that just for giggles, since I'm in simulation mode. So let's just take that 119 there. So there you see it's brought my break-even point down from 1.92 down to 1.32. So that's a significant difference. So let's see how that goes. If MK Dons do score fairly soon in the first half, that will jump up significantly, allowing me to get out. But obviously that's a very big risk for anyone to take. It's not necessarily something that I would recommend, so my potential red of 200 quid here, but we'll see how it goes. As I say, this is really just an experiment. I just want to get a feel for what this expected goal figure really is. But you can actually see here the expected goals for Crawley has jumped from hovering around 0.2 up to 0.76, whereas the one for MK Dons hasn't changed at all. So certainly the stats are tending to favour Crawley now, I would suggest. And it may be that if you're using this expected goals figure, you really need to wait for quite a bit into the game before you think about getting involved. I got involved in 20 minutes. Maybe that's too soon. Maybe you need to really wait for half time, or early on in the second half to take your position. Because clearly, if I had done that, I'd be looking at taking an awful lot lower price for the Leon Crawley. Anyway, back when something else happens. Switching to the Bolton-Barnsley game, we can see that Barnsley have scored, but they've only dropped down to evens, near enough. And the expected goals figures are nowhere near qualifying, so no need to get involved in this match at the moment, but we'll keep an eye on it. Now that's interesting. There's been 2 quick goals by Bolton to pull ahead 2-1. Let's see, Bolton is now down to 1.36. Expected goals for Barnsley up at 0.87. So I think it may be time to just get involved. It's more or less half time now. So I'll just stick in my lay in there at 1.34 on Bolton. Hopefully that will get matched sometime during half time. Yeah, I'll come back to that as and when. About half an hour left in the Crawley MK Dons match. Nothing much has happened really. Still 2-0. The expected goals for MK Dons has sat on 0.82 for virtually the whole game, while it has risen for Crawley as they've been scoring the goals. So I'm not sure if there's any lessons to take from this other than potentially don't get involved in the match until halfway. If for no other reason, it gives time in the game for the expected goals stat to be calculated. But we'll get back to this if anything happens, but it doesn't look promising at the moment. It certainly needs MK Dons to score at least 1 to get me back up into the green. Okay, just come back from making a cuppa to find Crawley a 3-0 up, so that's that game wiped out, I suppose. Not a great first attempt. And equally, I'm not sure I've learned anything. Okay, we'll just concentrate on Bolton and Paris Saint-Germain now. Okay, Dortmund have surprisingly taken the lead in Paris. But the odds have only dropped to 2.3, give or take. The expected goals for PSG are up at 1 though, so it makes sense to lay Dortmund, but I don't want to lay them at that price. I'd much rather they were a wee bit lower than that, certainly below evens. So I'm going to hang fire for the moment and see how quickly, if indeed they drop to a reasonable level, and then I might get involved. Okay, Barnsley have equalised, and you can see the odds have jumped up to 2.68 or thereabouts, so we might as well just trade out for £144. That will be lovely. Okay, so Garlic need 144 across the board in the Bolton match, so that worked out okay. It doesn't recover everything well lost on the Crawley game, given that I went in twice. But happy with that. So let's concentrate on the Paris Saint-Germain game. Dortmund, if I pull up the corresponding stats, Dortmund are still 1-0 up, but they've just started to creep underneath the evens mark. You can see there the XG figure for PSG is approaching 2. So certainly the stats are suggesting that Paris Saint-Germain should score, but I would like to see Dortmund's odds come down a bit. But we're up at nearly 70 minutes gone, so there's only 20 minutes left, 22 minutes left at the moment. I'll hold on for another 5 minutes and see how it goes, and then I'll decide whether to get involved or not. Okay, with just over 15 minutes to play, I'm probably taking a big risk here getting involved, but Dortmund's odds have dropped fairly rapidly in the past 5 minutes. So I'm just going to pop in a lay there at 1.7, see if that gets taken fairly shortly. You can see there that the odds are still saying that Paris Saint-Germain are due a goal at least. So they just need to equalise, and the odds on Dortmund will shoot up quite substantially. So that should be taking any second, and we'll come back to see if there's any opportunity to trade out. Well, we are approaching the 90th minute in the Paris Saint-Germain game, and as you can see, Dortmund have come down from my entry point of 1.7 down to 1.2. So it's not looking great, but as you can see, the XG figure for Paris Saint-Germain is 2.81, and having a look at the stats, they've completely dominated this second half especially, and but they just can't put the ball in the net. They've had 24 goal attempts in the game. So unless we see a dramatic finish in the next few minutes, well, we've got 4 minutes extra time, and just as I speak, come on, fingers crossed. Oh, it's Betfair's twitchy finger. Another reason why I don't like trading football. So yeah, I haven't really learned anything from today, to be perfectly honest, other than in the Crawley game I went in too early. If you're going to use expected goals as an indicator for your trading, I would tend to suggest you need to wait till towards half time to give the expected goals time to work themselves out. Other than that, all I've learned is I don't like trading football, but I knew that already. I'm full of admiration for those of you who can and do it and enjoy doing it. I just find it the most frustrating sport to trade. I really just don't like it at all. It doesn't float my boat, as they say. That said, any football traders out there who are watching this, by all means leave a comment. I don't expect I'll do this again, simply because of my aversion to football trading. But if anyone wants to see me do some more, by all means leave a comment down below, and the football traders amongst you can perhaps comment and provide some advice. In the meantime, I'm just going to leave it there. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.